Coming up on this episode of Everyone Has a Voice.
You do not have your toe, correct? Like, it's gone.
Would you like to see it?
Absolutely.
All right.
If you hear a thud, I have passed out and hit the microphone. Bless your heart.
Silenced by her own sin over a decade ago, she believes in giving everyone a voice. She's an author, speaker, mentor, and voice for the underdog. Be inspired by radical stories of change that prove you could be one different choice away from a better tomorrow. Welcome to the show that proves them wrong. This is Everyone Has a Voice with Christy Neal, brought to you by Choose Different Ministries.
Welcome. We have got a radical story for
don't
you
we today.
The subject? A toe.
Producer Jimmy's.
Producer Jimmy's toe.
Yep.
It's a good one. How are you doing today, Producer Jimmy?
I'm doing great. 5 months after my accident, and I walk fairly normal.
Bless your heart. So please tell, how in the world did you lose your toe?
Well, it was a lawnmower accident.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah. Ouch is it's not even scratching the surface on what it was. I was mowing my lawn with an older push mower, and one of the rear wheels fell off. Not just the wheel, but like the whole assembly, like where the wheel mounts.
Oh, yeah.
So it wasn't like I could just stop, put the wheel back on.
Yes. Did you have shoes on?
Yes.
Okay.
Always wear shoes when I'm cutting the grass.
Checking.
I know some people don't wear flip-flops. No, regular shoes.
Okay.
But I cut the front yard, the side yard. It's about half of the backyard
Okay.
when the wheel falls off. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, I could stop, go buy a lawnmower, or, I'm going to be done in 15 minutes. I'm just going to finish cutting
Just
my
knock
grass.
this out.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Well, the problem with that is when you have one wheel missing, that one side is always trying to drag the ground. So to compensate, you have to kind of pull up on the handlebars,
okay. Yes.
to get it to keep rolling, which
Yeah.
is fine. But the backyard's a little rougher terrain than the rest. So I actually hit a rock. When I did, it bucks up.
Oh, no.
Because it's already kind of up in the air for me holding it up.
Yes.
And I've got a decent pace going, so I walk right into it.
Oh.
Now, initially, the first thing I thought was, did I just do what I think I did?
Did that just happen?
Because in the first second, you don't feel it. And when you have a traumatic injury like that, it's kind of like your pulse, your heartbeat, that's where you feel it.
Oh, yeah.
And it took about a second, and then I was like, oh, yes, I did. This really hurts.
Did blood go everywhere?
No.
Okay.
But it was flowing, pretty nicely out of my shoe that was cut up.
Oh.
So at that point, I went into what I'm going to call survival mode because I live by myself. I'm in the backyard. And so you start going through your mind, it's like, what next? Okay, I need help, but
who's going to help?
Right. And how bad is this? How quick am I going to bleed? Am I going to bleed out in the backyard and die? I mean, that went through my mind.
Am I going to go out this way?
Yeah. And one thing, I never carry my cell phone when I'm doing yard work. Because why would I? I mean, you're out there, you're cutting grass, the mower's loud, you're not going to call anybody. You're out there for an hour, big deal. Well, for whatever reason, I had it in my pocket, thankfully. But before I realized it, okay, at this point, I haven't even realized I have it. So I was like, okay, I can walk to my house. Nobody's there. If I pass out, and nobody's going to help me. So I'm like, I'm going to walk to the neighbor's house.
Yes, good idea.
So I hobble, because I'm not walking well, obviously, hobble across the backyard, over this little creek, up the driveway to the front door.
Oh, my goodness.
Ring the doorbell. Nothing.
Please tell me they're home.
No.
Oh, Jimmy.
And I'm like, I don't have the energy to walk back to the house.
Yeah, cross the creek.
And luckily, they have a porch that's kind of a deck, so they had some chairs there. So I sat down, put the bad leg the foot that's bleeding up on the other knee, because I'm like, okay, if I elevate it, it's going to bleed less because it's not going downhill.
Yeah, wise.
And then I'm like, oh, I have my phone. So I called 911. I had 4% left on my phone.
Amazing.
I told the lady, I was like, look, I need an ambulance. I'm going to give you my location first in case my phone dies. Because she's trying, I'm like commanding the conversation where most 911, they'll ask you these questions.
Yes.
And I told her, and she's like, well, what's your address? And I told her, I was like, but that's not where I'm at. She's like, where are you? I was like, I'm next door. What's that address? I don't know. But it's on the corner of this street and this street. It'll be the guy with the cut foot waving at you.
With the bloody shoe.
Yeah. So they get there. They wrap me up. And I'm not real good on blood and gore, so I'm not even looking at it.
Oh, I bet.
And I told the EMT, like, I don't need details. Just, patch me up and get me to the hospital.
Yes.
And, of course, 30 minutes after that, I start thinking, wonder how bad it is. So I asked the EMT, I was like, so you think I get to keep all of my toes? And he just looked at me. And he was like, he wouldn't answer. Just this look on his face.
Silence is not good.
Because, he's an EMT. He's not a surgeon. He's not a specialist. But he's like, yeah. He's probably thinking, that's pretty mangled.
This is not looking too good.
And then they give me fentanyl, which is a narcotic painkiller.
Yes.
The first batch didn't really do a whole lot for me, and so they gave me another one. And then my blood pressure just goes into the basement, which is never safe.
Never good.
I never passed out, and I don't remember like every detail because I was kind of out of it.
Woozy. Did you enjoy the narcotics?
I did not enjoy the fentanyl at all. One of the things is you feel flush. It was 90 degrees outside in the summer when I was cutting the grass. I got in an ambulance. It was like 70. I was like, oh, this is so nice. Well, as soon as I got that second dose, it was like, why is it so hot in here?
Oh, wow.
Because I felt like, it had been somebody just turned the heat on. And I'm like,
wow.
And then my brain's like, no, it's not going to get that hot that quick. This is something with you.
Internal.
And then the one EMT was telling the one up front as we're going down the road my blood pressure. And I don't remember what it was, but I know both numbers were under 100. And I'm like, that's not good.
Oh, that is not good.
So she's pumping me full of like saline or whatever to get my blood pressure to come back up. And anyway, we get to the trauma unit at Vanderbilt. Hats off to those guys. Thank you. Have you ever been
First responders.
You ever been to a trauma room?
I have not.
Let me walk you through that for a second.
Lord.
Would you like to walk through the trauma room?
Yes, please.
Okay, you go in this big room. There's about 10 people, and they all start working on you.
Ooh,
one of the things they do is they cut all your clothes off. They don't take anything off. They cut everything.
What if I have my designer jeans
Doesn't
on?
matter.
Oh.
Snip, snip.
Ooh.
They check every square inch of your body for more injuries because they see the obvious, but they want to make sure there's nothing else. So they roll you over. I'm on this little bitty gurney, and I'm not a little guy. And I'm going, I don't want to fall off this thing. And there's like, and there's like 5 people on that side. It's like, oh, we got you. I'm like, okay, are you sure?
My goodness. You're like, it's my toe.
Yeah.
It's
and then they
toe.
roll you over the other side. So when you're done, I'm laying there with this blanket covering my crotch. All right.
Your loincloth.
Nobody is in the room. I have no pillow. And I just remember looking around going, hello? And I lift my head up and it's just nothing. I'm like, what do we do now? I'm like, this sucks.
Are you still hot?
No, actually, by the time we got there, I got better. But it did take, they were backed up. The orthopedic surgeons were backed up. This was a Sunday. I got in at 2 o'clock. They took me down for surgery 5 p.m. Monday. 27 hours waiting for surgery.
That is insane.
You can't eat after midnight the day of surgery.
You were starving.
No big deal if you go in at 9 in the morning. But I'm going in at 5, so I didn't think. So all they can give me is ice water.
Wow.
And I'm still in this pain, so they're giving me like hydrocodone or one of these narcotics. And you would think that would be great, but you have to take food with those.
Yeah.
So what do you think happens 2 minutes after I take the pain medicine? I get sick because I can't take food.
This is just getting worse and worse.
Yeah. It's just. Man, it was quite a mess. And
it is
by the next Tuesday at 1 o'clock, I was done. I was there 2 days.
That is
48
insane.
hours.
Did you have medical insurance?
Yes.
I
actually have.
Good Lord.
I don't like our previous president, so I won't call it this, but I do have affordable health care. And while some people will say it's bad, and I'm not really going to get into that discussion.
Sure.
But let me just say it turned $50,000 bill into $8,000.
Wow.
And that's still a lot of money. A lot more than $150 I could have paid for a new lawnmower.
Oh. And saved your toe.
Yes. And so anyway, that's, I would highly recommend having insurance and not using a three-wheel push mower.
Wow. So what are the takeaways from this crazy, radical story? And you do not have your toe, correct? Like, it's gone.
Would you like to see it?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Folks, we're going to break this.
You'll kind of have to walk through it here.
Missing toe out.
All right. So just so you know, it's the second toe. It's not the big toe. It's the one next door to it.
Is removing his shoe.
And it's been 5 months, so it's not like, pussy and scabby and that kind of stuff.
If you hear a thud, I have passed out and hit the microphone.
So you see number 2 is missing. And now you see number 3.
It is missing.
And you can tell number 3 was hit pretty bad because see all the scars?
Number 3 is hurting.
Number 3 is giving me my most problem right now. It's on the right foot and it's kind of cocked back to the left. It was the top part was actually broken, the little bitty bone.
Oh my!
And I walk with a carbon fiber insert in my shoe because I still have about 25% numbness. So I can't really flex it comfortably because I can't feel it.
And we take our toes for granted, folks.
We do. You know what I learned?
What did you learn?
You walk with your feet, but you stop with your toes.
Oh,
And you've never thought about that.
I have never thought about that.
But when you have to stop in a hurry and somebody walks in front of you, that toes are what make you stop.
They do. They grab.
Mm-hmm. Now, another thing doctor told me he says a foot's kind of like a tripod. You can walk normally with the big toe and the little toe. You can do without the ones in the middle. Now, you might not be able to stop.
Never knew that.
Not be able to stop very good, but you can still keep your balance.
You can balance.
But missing the big toe, the balance is all messed up. So as bad as that looks, I still feel thankful that I didn't lose more of it. I could have got cut off half foot.
Oh, your big toe could have been gone.
Yeah. And you want to hear something weird?
Yes.
Is I used to have, I forget what it's called now, but it's like joint fluid building up in one of my second toes, and I had to get it checked out from a doctor. And anyway, I was like, I can't remember what foot that's on. It's like, did I get that toe cut off? Because if I'm going to lose one, that'd be the one to lose.
This is the right one to lose.
No, it's on the left foot, so I still have it.
Of course.
Yeah, it's fun getting old.
Thank you so much.
I've been cutting grass since I was 7. Back before they had, safety features on lawnmowers. I never had an injury until I was 48.
Yes. I used to cut my lawn all the time as a stay-at-home mom. I was a stay-at-home mom for 8 years and never thought about this.
Yep.
I pushed it up the hill, down the hill, would drag it behind me.
Yeah, you have to. You got to treat machinery with a lot of respect.
That's right.
I don't care if it's a lawnmower, if it's a table saw. Realize that, hey, this thing can maim you. It can kill you.
That's right.
So
takeaway number 1.
Yes. Number 2, don't use a 3-wheel lawnmower.
Never use a 3-wheel lawnmower.
How many more do you need? Make sure your health insurance premiums are paid. I mean, I got a bunch of them. And I think ultimately be thankful for what you have, because you don't know when it can be taken away from you.
There you go.
Whether it be a toe or whatever.
That is a huge life point. Be thankful for what you have, because you might not have it tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I have a question for you.
I was going to drop the mic after that one.
Drop the mic. If you could go back in time, Jimmy, knowing what you know now, what would you choose different?
I would pay the kid down the street $45 to cut my grass.
Boom. Money well spent.
That's right.
Okay, for anyone who may be facing this exact situation in the future, what wisdom nugget would you like them to take away?
Be safe and don't make dumb decisions. I mean, I was just thinking 15 minutes and I'm done.
Yeah.
But look what that 15 minutes cost me.
Crazy.
I mean, 5 months later, I don't walk normal.
That's right. And you have an $8,000 medical bill.
Right, that I'm still paying on.
Unbelievable.
So, don't be in a hurry to make a dumb decision. Take your time, analyze it. I could have stopped and went to Walmart and it would have taken me an hour, but for $150 and some gas and some oil, I would have had the yard still would have been cut by that afternoon.
Yes, with a new lawnmower.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have this cool story.
Yeah, that's true.
So
and people
that.
would not learn to be thankful for what they have today, because it could be gone tomorrow. Thank you so much, Producer Jimmy, for sharing that radical story about your toe. I love that it was about a toe. So thanks for listening. And remember, you could be one different choice away from a better tomorrow.
Christy is a dynamic speaker, passionate about people and helping them live with a from here mentality, no matter how messy their past may be. To book Christy for a speaking event, visit choose-different.org and click on Contact Christy. Thanks for listening. And until next time, remember, everyone has a voice with Christy Neal. Brought to you by Choose Different Ministries.